This is episode 60 of season 2 of the Launch Your Biz Now podcast, the podcast for all new and aspiring business owners. And today on the show, I have with me one of my beautiful students from my course, Emily Smith, or Pointer. What one do you go through? But I need to
Either.
ask you this.
Technically Pointer, but it doesn't really matter. I'm the same
Yeah,
person.
yeah, that's it. You've got some in Smith, some in Pointer. So
That's
done,
it.
done.
Yes.
I like it. Now, Em, for the people that are listening that have been long-time listeners or have done the backlog, they might have heard you in September when you just signed up to do the course. And
Yes.
we were talking about what you're wanting to do with the business and everything like that. So if anyone's listening and they want to jump back in and find Emily's episode around the end of September, I think it was, and have a listen to that one. And it was where Em was sitting when she was wanting to get into this. But to give everyone a bit of an update on what you have done and what you've set up for your business, what is your elevator pitch, Em?
Okay. Now I still don't know it off the top of my head, so I'm going to read from the
That's all
screen.
right.
But this is what I've got, and I have used it on a few occasions. So
Good. You'll have
love
to
it.
tell us about that too.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So my pitch is I help parents support their child to learn to read and build their reading confidence by providing them with a learning program that guides them through a sequence of hands on phonics activities. Parents who have a child that is learning to read or is struggling with their reading may not have the knowledge to help their child, finances, and time flexibility to hire a private tutor. This program will empower parents to support their child and guide their learning in a simple, flexible, and affordable way. This means that they will be able to spend time with their child while gifting them the life skill of reading.
I love
Mhm.
that. So, putting your pitch together is one of the things that we do cover in the course. And the reason it is so important is we want when somebody's asking you what you do for work or what's your job or any of that, we want you to give an answer rather than just saying, I'm a teacher, I'm a tutor, I'm any of these things that it could fall under. They're going to get that and they're going to go, oh, wow, that's interesting. They're going to have questions to ask you and they're either going to decide whether they want to work with you, they know someone that wants to work with you, or whether they can partner with you. So awesome work. And how have you used it so far, Em?
A couple of times, mainly on like some Facebook groups that I've jumped into. A few people have popped up a few things. If you wanted to guess for a podcast or something that was in my niche, I've been able to just say, hey, I'm over here. Yeah, no, that was really valuable. I like that one because it's nice, it's clear, and we were able to in the course work through it and nut it out a little bit and bounce ideas off each other. Yeah, it's been really valuable having that.
Yeah, I love the pitch. And I think it forces you to be able
Mm.
to articulate what you do as well.
Yes, that's
It
right.
might seem like this, why are we doing this exercise right at the start when we're starting this business? Is this
Mhm.
important? But it is because it gets you
Mm.
thinking about it in a different way. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what is the thing that I offer? What's the outcome?
Mm.
What's the benefit? All that sort of
Yeah,
wonderful stuff.
that's right. And I
So,
know I did say to you too, that was at the start of the course. And I remember thinking at the time, oh, this might be better a bit later in the course. I'm going to give Sarah that feedback. But then later in the course, those modules, it was like, oh my gosh, go back to the first modules and you pull it all out of there. And I was like,
yeah.
it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it makes sense
Love it.
in the end. You're going, "Oh,
Mm.
do I need to do this now?"
Yeah.
Once it all
Yeah.
comes together, it really works. And I think we'll get into that as well, so this makes a bit more sense for everyone else. But yeah, the more work you put in this at the start and get really
Yeah.
clear on that customer and who it is you help and all those sorts of things,
Yeah.
the easier everything is to do in your
Yeah.
business. And not just for the duration of the course. It's going forward when you're doing all your marketing, your sales,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and because you do get a little bit tired as you're going through because there are a few things you need to set up and think about, and it's like, oh, I've got to do this now. But then you open up the module first week. Oh, it's pretty much all done. I just have to tweak this and I can put that there. So I found that, yeah, really encouraging already having it there. It was more, it like pepped me up a little bit. Oh, great. Yes, I'm feeling a bit tired today, but I can still do this.
I love it. No, that is awesome. So, Em, it's been 3 months or just over 3 months since we started the course. It's been a few weeks now since we finished the course. And of course, we've had Christmas in that time as well. Where are you up to in your business process? So do you want to talk everyone through what your journey's been and how it looks and where you're up to now?
Sure thing. So I have my website all established. I was working so hard on that for so long because I'm a bit of a perfectionist with those sorts of things. So that's all up and going. I'm aiming to launch I've called it the Launching Literacy Program towards the end of February. Will run in the New South Wales term one, term period, but probably it's going to be maybe week 4 or 5 of the term, just because children will be starting to settle into school and things like that. Because the course would I'm assuming, and you never know, once you start doing these businesses, your thinking can be maybe off a tiny bit. I'm assuming most of the customers would be those with children who might be beginning school this year. That's huge for those little people. They're going to be really tired. I thought it's probably not a good idea to start it week 1 alongside
Mhm.
school. They need to find their groove in kindy or prep or wherever you might be listening to
Mhm.
this podcast, the first year of school. So that's what I've got in store at the moment. So very soon, if you are following along on Instagram, you might see me start really ramping up the all the information for that program.
And we'll put the Instagram handles in the show
Yes.
notes as well for
Yes, that
everybody.
would be great.
Yep.
And I have also set up to complement Rise education support. I've also got Rise tutoring. So I have booked out a few slots during the week where I'm going to do some face to face and online tutoring for children. I'm specializing in literacy, but I have had a few people reach out saying they want some help with maths, which I can absolutely do because I'm trained to teach maths as well. However, my love lies with literacy, and that's what Rise Education Support is mainly about, is learning to read. So that's been great. I think it's the week beginning the 4th of Feb, I'm starting the tutoring. So I'm really excited about that. I've started buying a few things for the space. I've got my beautiful friend Renee, who has a florist in town locally. She's just opened up a workshop space because she's going to be running courses too out of that. And I am going to be leasing space out of there on Sundays. So I'm so excited about that.
That is
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, and the thing I found interesting was making this offering, which I again, this is what I'm talking about. You thinking you can be wrong. I thought most people would want face to face, but I'm having most of the inquiries are for online.
Mm.
I'm just putting it down simply. A few parents have said you've just got to work out things like around the kids' sport, and or they've got larger families with maybe 4 children. They're just so busy. So the online
Going to
is
drop them
preferable.
off for another appointment's hard work,
Yeah,
so
that's exactly, and that was part of my thinking with the Launching Literacy program, was that
Mm.
it is hard for a lot of families to drive their kids around to things when there's sport, music, and swimming, all those sorts of things. So the idea for the program was that it can be done any time that suits. And now I've got a couple of evenings a week offering online, and they're the ones that are filling up the quickest. Yeah, I did think people would want the face to face, but yeah, there you go.
We became pretty used to it in the
Yeah,
COVID world, didn't we?
yeah,
So
that's it. I think knowing once upon a time prior to COVID, it would be like, "Oh, no, that would never work." But we had to learn to make these things work,
yeah.
and yeah, a lot of things have become online, and it's much more flexible for people.
And I guess
Yeah,
that's the
very
thing there.
exciting.
It's one of those lessons that we
Mm,
have to take on when we're starting a business is we've got to listen to our customers and we've got to listen to the feedback that
yeah.
getting and we've got to be able to pivot. And I think yours has been a perfect example of that because you were setting up the program first of all, and then you decided actually the program sort of delayed profit. You've got to build it all and get it out there. So you went, all right, I want to get some money coming in now, and then started offering the tutoring as well. It evolved and changed as time went on. And I also think, like we've spoken about before, by doing the tutoring, it helps with forming that course content as well because you get to
Mhm.
see
Yeah, that's right.
how
Yeah.
everybody goes.
Yeah, in regards to the literacy tutoring, I've said to people who have made inquiries, the face to face and online are going to be the same. It's just that I'll be online for one and we'll be sitting in person for the other. But what I will be doing face to face is going to be very similar to what the Launching Literacy program is. It's just, it will be pre recorded and parents will be the ones that guide their child along.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just
So.
supporting the parents to learn how to support their children, which is a
Yeah,
pretty
that's
special
right.
thing to do. So
Yeah.
love this business idea. I've loved it ever since the start, so
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see this
Yeah.
go live.
Yeah.
Lots happening
Very
in your
excited.
world. It's very busy.
It is very
So,
busy.
going back to the course, what made you just sign up to the course rather than doing it alone?
I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast episode I did with you, is that it really was one of those things I didn't know that I needed.
Yeah.
So you did your masterclass, and at the time I was thinking about the tutoring for this year, and I was like, oh, I might get a few things out of the masterclass in regards to setting up a business and doing it properly. So yeah, jumped on, and then you and I had a chat, and it was really you, I have to give credit to, that come up with the whole making a digital product. And then once we started nutting that out, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this could really work. And I think it could be really great. And once I looked at your offering, I thought, look, I think I really need this, because I had previously had an e-commerce store, which I had no idea about running a business. I felt that I really did need some guidance, and it is nice to have other people who are in the same boat along the way, that
Mm.
you can have the support one another and bounce ideas off. So I found that really valuable.
Absolutely. Me personally, I think one of my favorite things was the group. Like, I loved
It was
seeing
good.
people sharing ideas and building
Yeah.
relationships. And even for me, I was talking to Abby, one of the other members, the other day, and I said, we've become friends now. Like, I've got new
Mhm.
friends from doing this. So
Yeah,
it's been so much
totally.
more than just
That's
doing a
it.
course. It's,
And we're each other's little, like, we're everyone's each other's cheerleaders on social
yes,
media. Like, the first likes are usually from yourself, Abby, or Leanne. I love it.
yeah,
So great.
yeah.
Or Kelly
It's
and Shari. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
So
so nice to have that support,
yeah,
and I think it'll be now from this point, you'll be building your businesses together forever. We will see
absolutely.
as all of these business develops and we get to share the learnings that everyone has, and yeah, it's something very unexpected or that I didn't really account for or plan for when I did
Mm.
this, but I am so glad it's there, so I almost think it's as valuable as the course. Don't tell anyone else that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's
But
been
no.
great.
It's been fun.
Loved it.
So, what has been the most challenging thing for you about starting a business? So
For me at the moment, it's finding the time to put into it, purely because I've got a 7-month-old baby and a 5-year-old, and just trying to build the business around them, and just being better with my time. I sometimes be like, okay, I've got to do this and this. And then when I do have some time, I sit down and I was like, oh, what do I have to do again? And or I'll get distracted and find something else to do, or yeah, so that's just
it's
me,
hard.
really. Yeah, it's more of a personal thing, and it's
Oh,
be like,
I'm there with
"Oh,
you. It's
yeah,
hard
I
when you've
know."
got babies, and weirdly enough,
Yeah.
they don't work to our schedules. So,
Oh, I know, funny
really
that.
inconvenient. Really inconvenient. When
Yeah.
we're really in the mood to get stuff done, they're not.
I know, that's right, and my youngest, bless his little heart, he is so much needier than my 5-year-old ever was when he was a baby. He just wants the cuddles all the time, and which is so beautiful, but it's yeah, it's certainly I can't do a lot when he's awake. I've
Yeah.
got to do all the stuff when he's in bed.
Yep.
So, yeah, for me, it's that balance between, yeah, doing all of that behind the scenes stuff, like
Mm.
doing the email funnels, and creating the graphics for social media and the posts for social media, and the Facebook ads, all of those little things. Yeah, they're the things that I find challenging. It's like trying to find the time to do them or sleep.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the thing. That's
mm,
what you're trading off. The house is a pigsty, but don't worry, guys. I got my emails done for this week. Okay.
yeah, I know. I do have some of those days. It's just, oh, yeah, my
We're all
life.
there with you. We're
Yes, I know. Yeah. And I
Was
think
there any
we're all in the same boat,
well,
really,
that's
weren't
it.
we?
Pretty much everybody in the course had young bubbers, and so we could all relate, and we're all
Mhm.
breastfeeding and feeding and running around after kids doing our
Yes.
sessions, but we got through, and that's the thing as well, it's a 10-week course, or now with the changes, it's a 6-week course and a 12-week course because it's changed a little bit, but you
Yeah.
can do it in your own time.
Yeah.
It's not that once that 6 weeks finishes that everything's gone, you can
Mm.
jump on and do it in however long that you need, and the
Yeah.
community's still there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sorry, was there anything unexpected you discovered along the way?
Yeah, a couple of things. When I did the testing the business idea, and I sent out my survey, I've got my teacher hat on and knowing what I know, and I sent out the questions. Some of them come back it was the questions were about what would you like to see in a reading program, and some people come back with things like what their expectations were, like it had to align with their beliefs for teaching children to read. And for me, knowing what I know as a teacher, it's reading needs to be taught very explicitly and it needs to be very repetitive. Gone are the days of reading being taught as an immersive experience where you just read to children and they'll learn, or you just provide them with books and they'll learn to read. The studies show that is, in fact, not how we learn to read. So it was more just that thinking, oh, I'm going to have to probably do a bit more education
And I
to
think that
sell this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that we talk about in the
Mm,
marketing stuff is what people
mm,
believe versus what you need them to believe to
mhm.
ready to buy is two
Yeah.
different things. So now that you know that, you would have before knowing that, you would have made all your messaging towards going, it's this program, we're doing this, and people would have been reading it and just completely disconnecting with it and not getting that at all. Whereas now you can make that targeting message and go, you know, why, yes, we make this a really fun play-based activity, there's actually a structure behind it, and we need this
Mhm.
structure because of so you can educate people that they go, "Oh, okay, like it alright, I get that, that makes sense." And you're not gonna lose those people looking at it. So this is why it's so important to get feedback
Yeah.
from people and do those things that we do inside the Test Your Business Idea module because
Yeah.
it does give you that knowledge that what your customer's thinking, what the way that the words they use when they're saying stuff. So
Yeah.
very key takeaway. And that
Yeah.
leads us into it because I was just about to start going through the modules because I just wanted to get a bit of feedback from you and your experiences of
Sure.
doing the different modules. And the first one is the testing your business idea module. So what did you think of that module? What have you implemented so far? What are you going to implement? Give us everything. So this is where we really dived into who your customer is and then, of course, went out and tested the idea to make sure people actually wanted it.
Yeah, it was very valuable in the sense where you talk about that, is it that onion is that what you
Yeah,
call
oh,
it? And
I love this.
peeling back all those layers,
The but why rule.
the but
And
why
so
rule,
we
that's it.
actually have done a podcast episode on this. I can't remember off
Yes,
the top of my head what it is, but if
yes.
somebody
Yeah,
scrolls back through the podcast log, look for the one that says using the but why rule in your marketing and you'll understand this. I love that so much
yeah,
and credit
that
to
was
it's actually I think it's been around for it's one of those marketing things that everybody uses, but Steph Taylor taught me that one. So hats off to Steph. Thank you. Yeah.
and again, yeah, that's I think prior to learning that, I would have just been, "This is what I think you need based on what I know." Whereas once, yeah, you start peeling it away and digging down a little bit deeper, but why, it started to become a lot more clear. So, yeah, that was really valuable.
Yeah, and takes that superficial problem or superficial transformation or whatever it is and comes down to the core of it, the emotions
Yeah.
behind it and values people have and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
Very cool
Yeah,
exercise. I
and
like
that
that too.
was good too because you we're writing it all down. That also came into once we started doing, like, the copy for websites and things like that, so that was very handy.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Makes it all easier. So that
Mhm.
first module that everyone's like, what are we doing here? It
Yeah,
comes back. That's it.
yeah.
That's one piece of advice we can give to any students that join up that are listening to this is that first module is the key to everything. So do a good job.
Yes, it really is.
Then, second module, what did you learn from Build Your Brand? Oh, actually, sorry. No, that's not the second module. I've skipped down my page. What did you learn from the Business Basics module and what
Oh,
have you implemented or are going to implement?
yeah. So that was a big one. That was a real, oh, because it's the not fun stuff about the business. It's the, yeah, the legal side of things. And it's like,
Oh,
oh, insurance, yeah, business entities. Look, so I ended up doing sole trader and yeah, insurances. I'm not a fan of insurance because I think it's just like robbery. But yeah, like I learned it wasn't as straightforward as I thought it would be. I need
yeah.
to have what I knew I would have to have would be public liability, but then like in professional indemnity. And I'm just thinking, why do I need this for teaching children how to read? But yeah, that was an interesting find. Yeah, and the legals, but all your resources for those were so handy because I'd be like, I don't know where to start
Know
with
where to go.
this.
Yeah. And I think that's the
Yeah.
thing is just having someone that can just point you in the direction of go, all right,
Yep.
you need this, look
Mhm.
here. You need this,
Yep.
look here. You need this, look here. And
That's
of
right.
course, that was the module that we came up with your business name as well. So, because you didn't have your business name before, did you? You came up with it in that.
Yeah, that's right. That was fun, that
That's
exercise too. And I was even just in the car today just thinking about it, like the business name and how it come about, and I'm still quite happy with it and the logo and everything, how it all just goes so nicely together.
your
Yeah.
branding looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And
So
that's something else I'm having a lot of fun with too. Yeah, it was a little bit like, oh, to start with, a bit of a mishmash, but then yeah, once it started to flow, I was yeah, it's good fun.
it looks really nice. So people have to
Yeah,
jump over to your Instagram at least just to check that out because
yeah.
and of course that is something that you did yourself in your build your brand module where we create your logo, create your brand board, create your brand personality. So that's all the colors and everything that you use in your business. So maybe we'll go on to that one next. What did
Oh.
you feel about that? How did you enjoy that? How's that?
It was fun. Like initially, I need a lot of inspiration. I'm very visual in that sense. Canva is the best money you could spend on anything for your business. And even I used it a lot maybe 5 years ago, and I hadn't really touched it in a 5-year period. And now it is unbelievable the resources that are on there and the inspiration. It is just one of the most amazing products. So, yeah, just being able to play around with that. And they've already got all those pre made logos you could use, but mine was a bit of a mishmash of a few things. Like I got the inspiration from what they already had and just played around with it and played around with the fonts. Once that started coming together, yeah, thank goodness. But yeah, if it wasn't for Canva,
Oh, it's
I don't know
incredible.
where I'd be.
And on our AI talk that we've been having in the
Oh,
podcast, they've now got an AI tool in Canva. How
I
amazing is that?
know,
Have you
isn't
had a
it?
was it you that was telling me? Have you had a play with it?
No, I don't think I have had
You
much
haven't had a
play
play
around
with
with
it
it
either.
yet.
We'll have to check it out and see how it
I
goes.
might have had a little look, but yeah, I think it's a little bit more might be a bit more along the lines of Chat GPT, is it?
Yep,
A little
yep,
like bit more conversational.
yep.
But yeah, but oh, and yes, AI. Oh my
Oh,
goodness, how amazing is that?
yeah, we've been down the rabbit hole together.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
We might need to do another
Oh,
episode talking about all of
but
that
what
stuff.
about Sarah, how our little chatbots have been having their own conversation? How funny has that been?
Yes, so me and Em both have chatbots set up on our Instagram that do automated messages when people say keywords based on our Facebook ads. And of course, when we're in Messenger, we are mentioning these keywords to each other because we know the strategy behind it. So we're asking details about it and different things. And every time that we put the keyword in, then we're giving ourselves the rundown of this chatbot automation
Yeah,
coming through again. So
yeah.
we've just got it
And like,
constantly going back and forth at the
I
moment.
know. But I think I've mentioned your keyword and then I get the response and then your response mentions my keyword. So then mine's talking. It's so funny. I love it. It's
Right
hilarious.
there.
I'm like, I'm just waiting for it to evolve and it'll just end up having its like the
They're just gonna start
oh my
talking to each other.
gosh.
We're just gonna get in
Yeah,
and we've got these AI bots
yeah.
that have become friends somehow, and
I
that's
know.
fine. We're
So
booking holidays
funny.
together.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So
Love it.
good. No,
Yeah.
very fun.
So
Alright, and now know your numbers. So that was before build your brand, but know your numbers. What about this module?
uh, I've always loved playing around with sort of calculators and things like that. Like I'm hopeless at Excel, but yeah, those calculators that you made and put into the course are so good. And I only messaged you, was it like last week when I actually sat down and started doing the projections for the tutoring, I was really shocked at a lot of things that I hadn't considered. So that was a very valuable resource to have in the course. Yeah. And just that it's all just done for you. There is no way I could have made something like that up myself. Like I said, I'm pretty useless when it comes to Excel. So that was really handy. And then, yeah, and then I can work backwards knowing this is my goal. This is what I need to do to get there. Yeah. And I've copied them. I've got like my startup, you break even. This is the first goal. And then this is what I wanna do later on, and this is the ultimate goal over here. So, yeah, I love
That's awesome.
it.
Yeah, I think that one's a really special module. I think there's a lot of good
Yeah.
content that'll be
Yeah.
helpful for a lot of years to come in that one. So,
Yes. Very
that
good.
is
Very good.
good. That is
Yeah.
very good. And then from there, we started down the marketing track and we had your marketing plan. So this is where we started building out or choosing what marketing platforms that we wanted to use. We started building your new lead strategies. We built your nurture strategies.
Mhm.
What have you done so far in your business around this? And
So I made what was that? Is it 21 emails over 10 days?
yeah, so the
Yes.
lead
Yeah.
that's the nurture sequence once we
Yes.
so
So
we'll
I
we'll
s
let so this is in the your
oh,
sales strategy module, but those 2 pretty much go hand in
yes.
hand. So you've got the marketing plan and then you've got your sales strategy, and they go yeah, they work in together. So,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, so in regards to marketing, I'm primarily using, like, organic on Instagram, but oh my gosh, that has again changed so much. The reach is just horrible. And I'm trying all the things. Like, it's funny because I'm getting advertised a lot of businesses similar to yourself, obviously, because I'm engaging with you constantly on
Mm.
Instagram. And there's ones that just are talking about reels and how, yes, reels are the way to get your followers. But funnily enough, my reels do lousy and my posts do well. So I can't work it out. No one knows the algorithm. I think people can pretend to know it and say they've worked it out, but really, I think it's still a big secret at the end of the day. Yeah, look, I don't know. I really
It's
don't know.
hard. I think
Yeah.
Instagram these days
Mm,
is a real hard slog. There's
yeah.
gone are the days where you just put something out and then you get all these new followers and it was easy.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And
Everything's hard these days,
yeah.
actually.
I know, and the reels that I have been putting on Instagram, I've also been playing around with TikTok, which, oh, that's amazing, gaining followers on that one. But, I've got one I think that it's closing in on 8,000 views on TikTok. I've got 130 followers, and I put that on my Instagram, and I think it only had 200 views.
Wow,
So it's just so fascinating how it's working.
different.
Yeah, so, of course, I'm doing that, but primarily it's Facebook ad
Mhm.
campaigns across Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've built it up a little funnel for myself. I've made, like, again, in Canva, I made, like, a little video because video views are very cheap, and they've got a new metric that you can track on there now. As again, I might say new, but it could be a few years old. New from the last time I was using it. You can track your through plays because it's basically a reel. So I retarget the people who have done the through plays. So that's my warm audience. And then I re-advertise to them my lead magnet. So my sign up for my free product to join my emailing list, which is my hot audience based on what I'm doing on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that starts lead us into your sales strategy now. So in this, we created your sales funnel, and as part of that was creating your freebie. So what did you
Yes.
create for your freebie?
So I created an activity guide. So it's just 10 simple activities you can do on the daily with your child. You can do them at home, you can do them in the car. I think there is one activity that might need a tiny little bit of prep, and it's literally just pen and paper, and that's it. I think the 9 others are just all real verbal activities that you can do with your child. Yeah, so real simple activities to develop and support their reading skills, and there's a little bit of an explanation on each activity at what area of their reading development it targets and how it will help them.
And
That's what I've got.
yep.
Sorry, what were you
And
gonna say?
so what results have you had from that so far? Because that's one of the things we try to get out into the world to start building your email list and start building your client
Yep.
list and have people to sell to when you do launch. So that's been out for a few weeks now, maybe a month or so. So
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's going well. People are signing up, and I've
great.
noticed I've been tracking my unsubscribe rate to just see how it's gone. If the lead magnet was what people were wanting, if they were my target audience based on the follow-up emails they're getting, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And it's been really good. My website, I'm using Kajabi as my platform. It's telling me that the health of my email list is really good at the moment, and I can see There's only been a couple of unsubscribes, which is not a bad thing. We've been like, I think you've talked about that in your podcast before.
Yep.
Yeah, clears
Gets rid of the
out.
people that we
Yeah.
don't want on there.
And
People could unsubscribe for so many reasons. They
mm,
might just it might be their work
yeah.
inbox or whatever it
And
is.
I was listening to another podcast where it was saying if you have got people on your email list that it's going to their junk or they're not opening it, it can actually have an
Hindering.
effect on your emails being sent out, which
Mm.
it could just keep going to everyone's junk mail. So
Yep.
that's really interesting. So it is a good thing if they do unsubscribe and
Absolutely. That's
on
it.
your
You
list. So
much prefer them to
mm,
unsubscribe than press junk and then tarnish your email
yeah,
reputation.
yes. So that's been really promising.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know you use the activities yourself,
I
didn't
have
you?
used the
Yes.
activities myself with my daughter. I
Yeah.
love them and she
Yeah.
loves them. So we've been playing the games in the car and doing different things. And I just recently did Em's workshop as well. And we've been doing some more different
Oh, great.
games from in there. So one of the
Yeah,
things that you taught in the workshop, if you don't mind me sharing your
go
secrets,
for it.
is how to start getting kids to learn how to read. And so for me, what I was doing is just looking in a book and going CAT, cat. And what you taught me is we're going to start now using the sound. So it's at and
Yep.
cat,
Yes.
cat until she gets to the point.
Perfect.
So that's
You're
what we're
onto
now
it.
doing. And I've
Well done.
completely changed it. And she's starting to now connect those different sounds to the
Oh,
letters.
that's amazing.
So, yeah, it's been very fun. So I'm
Yeah,
taking the learnings on. My daughter is going to
great.
be absolutely winning from your advice.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
going to be
that's
so
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
Um,
that's great. And that was like this is just jumping in on my product. Something else that I didn't think of when I was doing that workshop is someone said to me, "Oh, my child's 3.5. I want to join. Is that okay?" And I'm thinking, "Yes, of course. She's the perfect age. Like you're the people that I want to be at this workshop." So again, just a few things I didn't consider. I
yeah,
needed to be a little bit more clear with
yeah.
my marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, just have it straight out going, this is if you've got a
Yeah.
child 3 to 4 years old, this workshop's for you. And
Yes.
yeah, making it
Exactly.
that specific. And I think that the thing is a lot of people feel like they don't want to niche down too much because they're
Mm.
stopping people from joining. But by niching down, it actually means more people are going to join because they're going to look at it and go, yeah, that actually is for me. That's what I
Yeah,
need.
that's right. And then I was talking to someone else who was on that webinar as well, the workshop, saying how it was surprising for them because it made them think about the way that they were taught to read and thinking, like reflecting that, oh, when they were learning, it probably wasn't the best practice.
Yeah,
And now thinking that what we know now and what I'm aiming to teach in launching literacy, they didn't get that and they feel like it has had an effect on the way they read and write now. So it's really fascinating.
it's
Yeah.
so fascinating. It's
Yeah.
yeah, and it's something for me as a parent. Yeah, because I guess I'm teaching the same way that I learn at school, and obviously over
Yeah,
time
that's
things
what you
improve
know.
and
Yeah,
things we
that's
get
right.
better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and look, yeah, the idea, like I said, I'm assuming it would mainly be children around that 4 to 5 year old range, but I've had people reach out to me for the tutoring saying that their child is like in year 4, year 5, and they don't quite understand the code, like the correspondences between the letters and sounds, the basic code, which is
And that's
meant
I
to be
guess the
taught in
thing is
kindergarten.
if you
Mm,
miss that, they
yeah,
go through school and they
and that
don't go
gap
back to it.
gets
Yeah,
bigger and bigger and bigger to you have
yeah.
these poor students who are just struggling in year 6, and then they've got to go off to high school, and that plays a huge trickle down effect on things like just their comprehension, like just reading something. If they can't read those words efficiently, they can't comprehend what they're reading. Yeah, if it's not done from the beginning, that gap will just get bigger and bigger. And yeah, so the launching literacy could be for a child that is in year 4 that
Mm.
needs help just filling in the gaps of that code that they may have not been exposed or they may have had a little bit of trouble with at school. Just a bit more of that one-on-one intensive work with it that they can do with their parent at home might be all they need.
It
So,
is such
yeah.
important work, and it is
Yeah.
awesome that you are doing this. It's and empowering the parents as well.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
letting us know what we can do. Like
Mm,
yeah, it's very cool, very cool.
thank you.
You've done amazing. Then, so next one we did was the profile and partner module.
Yes.
So this is where we talked about building your profile personally and for your business, and then leveraging that
Yes.
with and building that with and then sorry, building that and then leveraging that through PR, through getting awards, through and all of those sorts of mediums to then be able to have partnerships and collaborations to leverage your reach and leverage the potential of other people's reach and all of that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
what were your learnings from this? Have you implemented anything or have you got any plans around this?
Funnily enough, this was probably my favorite because it was something that I wasn't expecting out of the course because I didn't ever consider what you taught in that module. So yeah, it was definitely my favorite. And funnily enough, I haven't actually finished this module because at that time I was working really hard on building the website and that it was taking up all my time. But I've got like a note on my Trello board that I have to do that because that is so important. I haven't done my media kit, which I really want to do and send out to maybe a few like parenting websites or magazines and things like that. But in the meantime, I was focusing on website and building the product. Yeah, still working really hard on those, but that is one I just cannot wait to get back to and actually build it right up. And I know that's when I messaged you. I was like, do we still have access to this course after it's finished? So that's another great thing about Sarah's course is that you have ongoing access to it and you can jump in. Is that right, Sarah? You can
That
jump
is
in to
absolutely
other
right.
intakes. I was like, oh,
Absolutely.
great. I'm really looking forward. I'll probably jump back in on that one again. But since setting up the tutoring site, I have reached out to a local page that promotes the Albury Wodonga surrounds. So I'm going to have a look at their offerings because I think the tutoring side of things is just it's very local.
Yeah.
Someone might around the country might want tutoring online, which is absolutely fine, but right now it's primarily just local. Yeah, but I'm really excited to reach out to some other, like I said, websites or magazines or podcasts as well, which I would love to get onto. So if anyone's listening that thinks that I might be a suitable guest, I would love to join you.
Wow, look at the
um,
pitch. I love
yes,
it.
I know.
Oh, putting yourself out there.
Yeah, so that was really good. And again, just learning from you and like what you had done in your previous businesses, I was like, oh, that's an amazing idea. I had no idea about this. So just those sorts of things were just valuable in your course, things that I didn't know and I
Yeah,
didn't know
I'm
that I
glad that
needed.
that's the hidden gem for you because I
Loved it.
love that module as
Mm,
well. And I love all those, I think they're some of those key skills that once you know and you can use them, they're awesome.
definitely.
We look forward to seeing and hearing you around all of the
Yes.
PR and media and everything out the
Yeah.
world. We stay tuned, it will be big. So that module was lots of fun. Then the
That's
module we
good.
did after that was systems to build. So this is where we built out the 4 key systems in your business and introduce you guys to Trello.
Love that.
What have you done so far with this one? What are your thoughts? What do you got planned?
Yeah, Trello was another one of those things that I didn't know how much I needed it in my life. And I was thinking, I wish I had this years ago because it would have made my life so much easier. I write like sticky notes and just cross them off. They get lost and
Yeah.
I'm always like updating them. The Trello, oh, I just love it. So that's one of my other favorite things that I got out of the course was just simply being introduced to that.
I'm glad I could help you get
So good, so good. Yeah, and again, the systems is something I never ever knew was a thing, and I've even been just thinking about that if this business is to grow and I had the opportunity to put on an employee, just coming up with those systems to know that the business could function without me. Um, that was, yeah, real eye-opening for me.
Oh, that's
Loved it.
awesome. And I think that's the thing is it's the reason people get stuck in this small business or business that's underperforming is because if you don't have the systems in place, you haven't got a business that's set up to be able to scale. So you're going to limit yourself to what you've been going to be able to do.
Yeah.
So even though at startup stage, putting all these systems in place might not be something that you have in place now. And I don't think that you would have all of these in place, but just because you're starting to build them, it's going to work. As you build the business, you can start building the systems in. You've got the infrastructure in place now,
Mhm.
so you'll just keep
Yeah.
adding to it. And yeah, you're set up for scale. When you do have that huge influx of customers that I know you will, then you're gonna be able to
Mhm.
sustain it, and you're gonna
So
be able to handle it and offer that good level of support that you wanna give.
yeah, and that's
Um,
right. And I'm thinking if hopefully if everything goes really well and I do have a lot of interest, there will be the point because I'm planning to do some live support sessions as well. But people might be on their own sort of learning journey within that program. People might be doing it at different paces. So there is a huge possibility that I might need to get somebody else in to offload, well, that's probably not the right word, but to give a
support
handful
you.
of
Yeah.
support to support a certain amount of customers that I can take on a few, someone else could take on a few to make sure they're getting a little bit more of that intimate, individualized support rather than having it would be amazing, say 200 people wanting to do it and it's just me, but I can't provide that
The
same
outcome.
level of
Yeah.
help for everybody
Yeah.
because I'm only one person. I can't get around to everybody. Yeah, so that was again something I did not consider before doing your
Yes.
course.
Which is a perfect lead into our next module, which was the planning for scale. So the planning for scale module is all about getting the next 3 to 5 years from when you start your business and getting your business to lifestyle stage, which is that point where we have scaled and we've got all these systems and you're getting a really good income. You've got the flexibility and the freedom that you want, and you've got this beautiful business, which is the reason you get into business in the first place. What were your learnings from this module and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what was it the sweet spot you were talking about?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
sweet spot, yeah, that was really nice to discuss and think about and just consider what it would take to get there. So look, again, I haven't even opened up the program yet. So it's hard to think about what it's going to look like because I don't know the interest yet. And I am terrified to launch it because I'm scared it will just be crickets. But honestly, I would be so happy if just one person signed up for it at the beginning because it means I'm helping somebody, I'm giving people support, I'm helping a child learn how to read, I'm empowering some parents. That's what I really want out of this the most. And then yeah, it would just be taking the next step. Hopefully then the next time I release it, I'll get some more and it will snowball and hopefully I'll get some great testimonials from people which will help with things like the
Absolutely.
marketing and at the
Mm.
end of the day, just the more people I can reach with it and support and help, that's what will make me happy because yeah, I'm really passionate about reading and I just want to share the knowledge basically at the end of the day. So that's my
So
plan
good.
and look, and if I could earn a nice income along the way, then that's lovely.
That's it. And the more that we can build ourselves up, the more we can support others. And that comes in the form of getting good income for what you do as
Yeah.
well. It gives us
Yeah.
the power and the potential to be able to support more people. So
Yeah.
it's an important part of business, even if you're not money driven.
Yeah.
So it's nice. And I'm glad that you brought up that you haven't jumped into that yet because it's one of this is a bit of a sidebar, but I have made a couple of big changes since we did the first round of the Launch Your Biz Now course, which you did, which we had these 10 modules. Now I've split the course into two. So we have a 6-week launch intensive, which is the Biz Builder. And this is all the key modules that you need to actually set up a business. So this would be all the things that you've done now. It's setting up your website, it's getting your business entities, it's doing all your branding, all of those key things, testing your business idea, getting clear on your customer, all that stuff that you actually need in place to set up a business is in that. So people can go through and they can do this 6-week sprint, get all of the key foundations set up, and then they can either start running and getting some runs on the board, or they can then go through and do now the new Launch Your Biz Now 12-week program, which is doing all of the modules like the profile and partner, which you really want to dive into. It's doing the planning for scale. It's doing some more in depth of the finance stuff in the know your numbers. It's doing the systems. So where, you're actually going to know those systems to be able to put them in place because the business is up and running and established. So that's why I've made this big change to the structure because I did find that yes, it's awesome to know all that stuff. It's probably a little bit too early when you're starting up to be able to get that full
Mm,
benefit. So by now splitting it out, hopefully means it will fit with
yeah.
people better as they
Yeah.
need. So,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. The whole thing was just so valuable, and particularly for me because I was in that, oh, I've got a bit of an idea, but don't know what to do with it. But yeah, but there are a few things this is so great. but I'm not quite there yet. I'm just going to put a pin in it. And like I
Yeah.
said, that profile and partner has got a huge pin, like just sitting right there because that's what I'm really excited to do. Yeah. So great idea.
Perfect. And then the last module, which is now the last module of the Biz Builder course, the 6-week intensive, was the successful launch. So all about launching the business. So you've been doing a bit of a staggering launch. Do you want to talk
Mm.
everyone through about what you've done for your launch and what you're doing or planning for the launch? And
Yeah, so this is probably going to be split in a way because I've got the Rise Education Support, which is where I will be launching the program, the Launching Literacy program. And then on the other side, I've got the Rise Tutoring. So I'm thinking there might be a bit of a double in a way. So there might be
Mhm.
something a little bit more locally for the tutoring, which might be border mail. Or, like I said, I'd reached out to the Wodonga Surrounds to help with maybe some advertising there. I'm really lucky that where I am set up for the tutoring, Renee has a really strong presence in the community already, and she is huge on collaboration with
Mm,
local businesses, and she's the queen of it. She's just
she
amazing.
is the queen of
Isn't
collab.
she? Isn't she? So it was funny. I had a look at the space the other day and I was just looking at any furniture that I might need. And she's got these beautiful old chairs in there that are upholstered in floral fabric. And they're perfect. I'm going to use them because she said, I've got this that you can use and this. And I was thinking, actually, that's a really good way for us to collaborate. So I'm bringing her into what I'm doing, just simple thing, just like with the chairs. I'm
Mm.
just bringing a little bit of her branding into what I'm doing and just also using her beautiful space. And she's also sharing my social media and my Instagram posts and things like that and promoting on her platform. And funnily enough, when I put out to that I was going to do tutoring, I think she shared my post, and within half an hour, I had a response from someone, and lo and behold, who are they friends with? Like, it's
They
just
saw it from Renee.
yeah, so I put up, "This is what I'm doing, here you go." It's crickets because it was a new page, then I saw she shared it, and then straight away, yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to partner with her for
Yes.
that side of things.
And it's a great
Mm,
example of
yeah,
why collaborations and partnerships are so important for
yeah,
businesses. Like that's why I talk about it so much in the course because it's got to be win-win, which is something we
mhm,
talk about. It's a win-win
yeah.
thing, which is nice that you're thinking about that and she's definitely helping you too.
So
But
I
it
might just
just
jump on and say too,
yeah.
if you want to look her up, we might add her to your show notes, The
Yeah,
Real
that's it.
Florist.
Definitely go
So
and
I got
check out Renee. She'll be like, "Why
yeah,
are all these
yeah.
people telling
I
me about
know,
this
that's it. I was
podcast?"
thinking I'm talking about her. I need to
Put
put
something in
it
there.
out
We should
there. Yeah,
absolutely put her in.
that's
That's a great
right.
idea.
Yes. So um
No, very good.
yeah, then on the other side, that will be a bit more of a because this is open to Australia wide, it will be a little bit more of a social media, doing more advertising via Facebook and things like that. And hopefully, in the meantime, I will have finished the profile and partner and I will have reached out to some people and I might have some responses for podcast episodes or magazine articles or website blogs or things like that. So that is my
I
plan at
look
this
forward
stage.
to that.
Mm,
I look forward to it. No, big things are happening, and you've got so much in the works and so much that's coming along, and so much that you've done already because it is a lot of work to start up a business. You're creating this whole
yeah,
new baby. Some people say, and I think we can only say this because we're mothers, that having a business is it's just like as much work as having a child. And I think it's true. Some people might
yeah.
be sitting there going, "What?" But
It certainly is in the sense that, like, having a child is a 24-hour a day job, whereas having a business is too, because you're always thinking about it.
mm,
And that's it. Like, I go to bed at night and I'm so like my mind's going, or like I'm on my phone, like looking up ideas or
yeah,
furniture or something for the
yeah,
tutoring, or looking up YouTube videos on how I can do this better or all
that's
that
it.
sort of stuff on Canva, making
Mhm.
graphics, of course.
And as
Yeah.
well, like when you've got a baby, it's 100%
Mhm.
dependent on you. When you've got a new business, it's 100% dependent on you too.
Yeah,
And as the baby
exactly.
grows and as the business grows, they get less dependent on you and start
Yeah.
looking after themselves. All
Yeah.
things go to plan. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
we'll stick with this analogy. It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty spot on, to be honest, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good fun. Emily, this has been absolutely awesome, and I appreciate you taking your time out of
Thank
your
you for
day to
having
come and
me.
share your experience. And I like, everyone jump over, give M's business a follow, check out what she's doing, and stay tuned because I think this is gonna be
Thank
big,
you.
guys. We're gonna be seeing a lot in this space. So, Em, for the people that do wanna find you, where are they going? Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at rise.educationsupport, and you can find my webpage at riseeducationsupport.net.
Perfect. All right, guys. I will make sure we have them in the show notes for you
Thank you so
to
much.
go check out. But thank you again, Em, and thank you,
Thank
everybody. Have a
you.
wonderful day.
Bye.